Welcome back to the Purple Podcast. This is now episode 11. Thank you to all you all who listen. Thank you to all you all who care. And thank you all to who enjoyed this. You're beautiful people. I love you. So, we're going to get down into this one here. I'm on the mic alone tonight. I think this is now my third episode doing on my own, but wanted to get something out there. Owen went back to Chicago, who's been on a couple recently. Mike Meredith. It's actually his birthday tonight, so happy birthday, Mike. But Mike's getting busy pursuing that MBA, I believe, is what he's doing right now. He's working and going to school and everything. So busy people, busy lives, other things happen. But I'm still here for y'all and everything. And I'm sure Mike will be back as well. And, when Owen makes it into town, I'm sure he'll get on as well. But here we are. It's a Tuesday night. And it was kind of a Monday type of Tuesday, with Monday being a holiday and everything, but it was all right and everything. We just finished up Wildcard Weekend, which will be the subject of this episode and everything, and I guess it's our first week without college football as well. I will admit I was incorrect on guessing the national championship game. Alabama did not win. Actually, Georgia did. But they played a great game. Hats off to the Dogs. Honestly, I preferred seeing them win. But just for picking a team, I picked Bama. And, I was wrong. I also called Trevor Lawrence Justin Lawrence. But we're making mistakes here. I've always said it. It's not perfect. But we're going to stick with it. And we're going to keep going. And we're going to keep having fun doing it. So let's look into Wildcard Weekend now. We'll go through the games that occurred, and there weren't many real games, if you know what I mean. Pretty terrible scores for the most part, pretty terrible watches, predominantly, unless, one of the teams was yours winning and everything. But on Saturday, we got started with the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I think both of them had some of the longest playoff droughts, I believe, winning a game at least. Cincinnati more, but anyways, the Bengals came away with that one. And going through the stats and everything, I mean, I guess this one showed that it was close because it actually was close. We had the controversy of that touchdown call, which, if I'm really looking at it, did it impact the play? I don't think so. The ball's already in the air, practically in the receiver's hands. I don't think it changes much. I don't think anyone's in position to make the play anyways. So I'm not going to buy it. Yes, it's in the rule, though. It is the rule, though. That's the thing that is really kind of fucky about it, because it should not have been a touchdown according to the rule book. But I guess you can bear it a little more knowing that, it really didn't make a difference anyways. They were going to score that touchdown. It was fair, at least, that it didn't really impact the play, is what I'm trying to say. But it was a close game. Joe Burrow threw for 244. Jamar Chase went crazy again, 9 receptions, 116 yards. So the Bengals move on. And they were the lowest, I guess, remaining seed in the AFC. So they're going to be playing Tennessee at Tennessee next week. Before we get into that, we're going to move on to the next game of the day. I guess that was, let's see here, that's Tampa Bay Philly, I believe, and that game sucked. It was, Tom Brady being Tom Brady, of course, and the Eagles just were not a playoff team, really. The difference between a top-tier team and then a team that just, makes the playoffs is quite a bit, and it really shows in playoff football as well. Just beat them out. But that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team is beat up. So it could be a rough go for them as they get deeper into the playoffs, Of course, it's Tom Brady. He didn't necessarily always play with the best of weapons anyways, but he is older now. But he's playing his best football, honestly. But Mike Evans, and then, AB's gone now. Chris Godwin tore his ACL. I think they were out Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones. Their secondary's been beat up all year too. So I think it's going to be a tough one for them to pull out unless some players start coming back healthy on that team. But that was a terrible game. It was, let's see here, it was 31-0 going into the fourth quarter. So it wasn't a close game. It looks closer, making it 31-15 because the Eagles scored 2 touchdowns and got a 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter. But it was never really a game. You were never concerned. You never felt the heat in that one. So Tampa Bay moves on, and next game of the night. This was a particularly fun one, considering that I am a Dolphins fan. I'm not a Patriots fan. I guess you could call me a hater sometimes, but you know what? The Patriots, your fans, if you're gonna call me a hater, you've had your wins. You've done great. So just get over it. Quit being a baby, okay? And they got throttled by the Bills. We'll leave the guy unnamed, but the infamous character from this podcast because he didn't come on it. So refer back to, I guess, maybe episode 2, is a Pats fan, and they got absolutely demolished. My girlfriend's a Bills fan, so they were both over here. And, he took the loss fine. I think the thing is he expected it. He wasn't necessarily in a position where he's like, yeah, you're going to win. But I told him a few weeks ago as well, when the Pats were on that run and everything, and he thought that, he's like, oh, who said the rebuild's only supposed to take 1 year? Well, they're obviously not there yet. And, I saw right through it the whole time. I was like, yeah, you'll go to the playoffs, but you're going to get beat in the first round. It is a guaranteed first-round exit. Your team's not that good. And, it was even better them coming down to Hard Rock Stadium and us giving them a whooping as well. So Tua Tagovailoa is 3-0 against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. And say what you may about Tua, but, that's always great to provide the fans with those wins against the Patriots. And 2 of them this year, we swept them. So that game was the late game Saturday night. Moving into Sunday. Honestly, I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure it was the 49ers and Cowboys. That was kind of the midday game on Sunday. And that was an interesting game. I guess we've had some crazy things happen in this playoff. That whole Joe Burrow thing with the whistle, that was pretty wild in itself. Next game sucked. Other games sucked at that point. Well, actually, that Bills game there's something crazy with that. I think it was the first ever NFL perfect game. They had no punts, no field goals, only touchdowns, and not a turnover either. I think so. Pretty ridiculous stat. Like I said, throttled the Patriots. But this next game here, 49ers, Cowboys, and always awesome seeing a classic Cowboys choke job. They're so good at it. It's just funny. It's every time. It never fails. And this one did not fail either. Coming into the late game, the Cowboys were trailing. It really didn't feel like they were ever very close. Until late in the game, they put up 10 points in the fourth quarter, and then they started driving down by 6. And Dak Prescott decides, I'm gonna run the ball up the middle. I guess it looked like it was designed, to be honest. So they run the ball. Whoever decides, they run the ball up the middle with no timeouts. I want to say 14 seconds maybe, and the clock runs out. Game's over. Nothing happens. No other play. Pretty terrible way to watch a game end, just from a viewer's standpoint. But awesome to see the Cowboys fail like that. Pretty funny. So that was a crazy game. The Cowboys still can't do it, even when they have just absolutely insane rosters. Next game, not a game at all. I guess it was Big Ben's send-off, so that's a big game despite it being 42-21. That game was never close either. The Steelers never had a shot. I think Ben said it himself, before the game. Just we're just happy to be here. I think everyone thinks we're not supposed to be here, and they're probably right. He says something along these lines. He goes, out of 14 teams in the playoffs, we're probably 14th. So not much confidence coming into that game, and it surely showed. But, even if he did have the confidence coming into the game, I think the same thing happens. So, nonetheless, great career, Ben. I don't think he comes back, considering he cannot throw for shit anymore and is just old as dirt. And honestly, I feel like he can't even bend his knees anymore. So it's probably time to hang him up, man. Just, enjoy your life. You've done fine. You've got Super Bowls. So, you've done all you've ever needed to. So, well done, Ben. Good career. Next game. And this is Monday night. And this will conclude Wildcard Weekend. The Arizona Cardinals and the Rams, another bad game. No fun to watch. I guess it was nice to see the Rams just kind of put on a show. They looked really good. And with Cam Akers back, that team becomes really, really dangerous because they have the backfield of Sony Michel and Cam Akers. And Cam Akers looked a lot better than Sony Michel, even though Sony Michel had a fine game in itself. But Cam Akers looks really fucking good. He did punk Buda Baker when he made him go fucking stiff. So that was pretty. That was a bad look on his part. I think you could tell he was feeling bad after he kind of realized he's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't come up and rock the baby on some dude who could potentially be paralyzed. That's a pretty bad look. He didn't really rock the baby, but that would have been funnier. But it's not funny. It's not funny. He caught me lacking. But Cam Akers was trying to go famous. Everyone's been doing that now. It's more so in the NBA, I guess. But everyone's just trying to taunt, and that taunting penalty sucks. But people in the NBA definitely taunt. And the NFL. NFL would be more fun to taunt, but I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm done with that. Anyways, Buda Baker, he seemed fine. I think he tweeted out, I'm doing good. Thanks for, the thoughts or whatever. So that concludes the wild card weekend. Let's move into, I guess, the divisional round now. So I'm going to stick with the people I picked, or the teams I picked in the prior episode. I didn't break down the whole playoffs or anything, but I did pick my AFC champ and my NFC champ, and then the Super Bowl champ from those two. But I took Cincinnati, so I'm still alive there, which is nice. I'm going to stick with them. A little bit of a wild card for sure. Well, wild card weekend, absolutely. Green Bay, the 1 seed. So not a crazy pick, but I don't know. I do want to see Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl again, just to see it happen. Maybe it doesn't. And there's another quarterback on that side of the bracket. I'll be fine with seeing in the Super Bowl as well. But first game here, we're going to start in the AFC. Tennessee, Cincinnati. To be honest, I don't know if Derrick Henry's back yet. I know there's talks. Cannot confirm, though. I guess I could look it up real quick. But anyways, I'm going to stick with the Bengals just because that offense, pretty much. The defense is good. They can make plays, too. They fly around. They got a good D-line. They have some good secondary players, and they have some good linebackers. So their D-line can definitely play with anyone. And I mean, their receiving core, their offense is very good. They can run the ball. They can pass the ball. Joe Burrow, you can feel that magic from that LSU season right now, the way this Cincinnati team is. And I think they just ride it out, man. So I think they take Tennessee at Tennessee. It's not too far of a drive from Cincinnati to Nashville. So I'm sure the Bengals will travel well, considering also that they haven't been in the playoffs in so long. And just got their first win in 30 years. So I think they travel to Nashville. And especially if Derrick Henry's not back, I think they win that game easily. Excuse me, damn. But Derrick Henry's not back, they're gonna they're gonna run all over him, or they're not gonna run all over him. Damn, I'm all confused now. I thought I was gonna really start coughing hard for a second, so we saved it. We're back. I should have brought some water over here. I don't have wine tonight, guys. It is Tuesday, but anyways, let's get back on to this. I think Tennessee does. I don't think they can run all over them, and I think that's what they need to do. I think the Cincinnati team can score a ton of points. That offense is electric. T. Higgins is a second pick, a second option. You have Jamar Chase, and then Tyler Boyd's very good too. Uzama's good, the tight end, and then Joe Mixon. So they have all the players on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know much about the defense, but they seem good enough, And the Titans' offense doesn't scare me, especially without Derrick Henry. I keep saying that, but it just is the fucking truth. Without Derrick Henry, it's not that scary. A.J. Brown is still very good, and Julio Jones, I don't want to say he's a slouch. He's not a slouch yet, but, man, he's just been hurt, and he hasn't done anything. So, you kind of forgot he even played football this year. That offense doesn't really frighten me much. So I'm going to go with Cincinnati over Tennessee there. They will be advancing to the conference championship. And then the next game, we have a rematch of the divisional round last year, the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you remember, the Chiefs kind of ran the Bills out of the stadium that game. It wasn't very close. But the Bills, you felt that franchise kind of turning around last year. They won the division for the first time in however long. And then repeat this year. There was some pushback, and they didn't start out as hot as they did last year. I feel like they were pretty damn good all year round last year. This year they had some ups and downs. Let's see. Last year, January 24th, 2021, the Bills were beat 38-24. So they didn't get blown out of the game, but the Chiefs looked better, and it was just like the Bills are probably one step away from being that team. Just especially, you got a player like Josh Allen, as dynamic as he is. You saw what he did against the Patriots last game, 5 touchdowns, over 300 yards, and had 66 rushing yards, I think, too. So very dynamic. He's not your traditional mobile quarterback either. He's a big dude. He's cornbread. He is big cornbread and tough to tackle. Will jump over you as well. So he's pretty good. He's got a lot he can do. There's not a play on the field he probably can't make. So it's just a matter of turnovers. If he can play within himself, which is wild to say because he plays so much out of himself, but it's normal for him. So if he can just not do what Patrick Mahomes was basically doing earlier this year, is just forcing too much stupid shit. It's just over and above because, sometimes you get away with it, but a lot of the times you won't. And, sometimes luck goes on a streak where you're not getting the good luck or good fortune of those plays and turns into more turnovers and things like that. But close game last year in the playoffs. Chiefs ran away with it. I think this year, the Bills take it. That team looks really good, and, of course it hurts my soul saying it as a Dolphins fan, but I think that the Bills have the team this year. Their defense is very good, which you're not going to completely stop the Chiefs by any means, but you can at least slow them down, and the Bills can score points right with them. So I'm taking the Bills. They got a running game now as well, so that's going to help getting a little more diverse. That's what's kind of hurting them earlier in the year, is they weren't running the ball at all. So one trick dog kind of thing, or I don't even know what the phrase is right now. I can't think of it, and I'm not going to waste time doing it. But one trick pony, I think that's what it is. So they were just throwing the ball, and you can key in on that, of course. So they got a running game going now. I think they're the more rounded team than Kansas City, really. I'm going to take the Bills in that one. So we're going to move on over. Let's go Green Bay, San Francisco. San Francisco, they have a good overall team. Jimmy G does not do it for me. And the last person I said that about was Stetson Bennett, and then he played the game of his life against Alabama and beat them. So maybe this is a blessing for anyone that's a San Francisco fan, but Jimmy G doesn't do it for me, especially when you're going up against one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history in Aaron Rodgers, and he's playing his best football right now, and he's got some weird chip on his shoulder this year where he's like, I don't even like you, Green Bay, but I'm just going to go out and kick ass. And then I guess maybe he's going somewhere else. Maybe he's retiring. If he wins, does he retire? I don't know. We'll see. But I think it'd be fun to see him somewhere else. We don't see that very often in our day. Or we don't. Jesus, I'm having a tough time talking today. But in our lifetime, big stars, they just go around wherever now. So I think it'd be fun to see him on another team, see what he can do, see what he can accomplish. Next game, we're going to have Tampa Bay and L.A. And I think in this game, despite having Tom Brady, it's who you don't have. And there's just a lot of missing pieces. And L.A. looked really good, especially that defense is ridiculous. So I think L.A. does it this year. The game will be at Tampa, I believe. Yeah, the game will be at Tampa. L.A., they started off super hot, kind of cooled down. They lost Robert Woods, so that hurt a bit. But, they got Odell, who looks like he's playing, I'm not going to say up to where he was at one point, but he looks more like himself than he has been the last few years. So getting production out of him, playing very well. And then Van Jefferson's very good. And then, of course, Cooper Kupp. That team has weapons on weapons. And Matthew Stafford, really like that guy. He's put in the time. He paid the iron price to get here. He put up with playing in Detroit for however many seasons. He deserves it. Tom, you've done nothing but win, man. Just let someone else do it this year, especially someone that's just been beaten so badly in, Detroit, where you would just never want to go. Desmond, please don't go to Detroit. Excuse me. But so that comes up with the final four. We got Cincy and Buffalo, and we got Green Bay and L.A. I think those are two very fun games. If I'm being honest, I'm not going to change my pick, but I really liked what I saw out of Buffalo, and they've played very good down the stretch, especially with that run game being implemented now. So I think they got a very good shot at it. But Cincy, Cincy has that lightning in a bottle as well. They are riding high. They've been playing some great football. Joe Burrow is just lighting it up. I think I'm going with Cincy. I told you I'm keeping Cincy. So I tried to talk myself out of it, and maybe I did underneath. But I'm going Cincy. They're going to be the AFC champs this year after not winning a playoff game for 30 years. You're getting a trip to the Super Bowl. So you don't know if you're ever going to get back. It could be another 30 years. So do it large while you're there. Going to the Super Bowl, Cincy. L.A., Green Bay. Man, that's a tough one. I went with Green Bay earlier, but L.A. looked really good too. And maybe this is just the teams they played up front because I said it myself. I didn't think New England was that good this year. Didn't look it on Saturday. And then on the other side, L.A. beat Arizona, who completely fumbled the bag down the stretch as well. They just didn't even look like a good football team anymore. So they got whooped. Wasn't very surprising either. But L.A., Green Bay, I think I'm going to go with Green Bay. That team is. I mean, they've been probably They've been the most consistent team this year. I think they got whooped real bad early by, I don't know, maybe New Orleans or something. But that team's good. Aaron Rodgers is playing great football, and they have so many weapons. They're getting some good tight end play out of like a former Cincy guy. I can't think of his name right now, but he had some anchor arms. I remember him just from going up and seeing a few Desmond's games. But he's been playing well, something with a D. But Devontae Adams, of course, Aaron Jones, and then that defense has played very well. So I'm going to go Green Bay, Cincy, and in the end, I think it's going to be Green Bay. I'm going to give Aaron Rodgers another ring. Joe Burrow plays him well, though. But in the end, I'm going to just let Aaron Rodgers do it. Good for him. Maybe he can retire and just do State Farm for the rest of his life. But there you have it. That'll put an end to the 2021-2022 NFL football season, and we will be done with football as a whole. But we got some weeks. We get to actually watch the games. These, as you know, it's not finalized right now. The games do need to be played still for our viewing enjoyment. But then I guess we have March Madness. It's cold right now. It's been kind of sad. That's just how it goes, man. But should heat up soon. We'll have March Madness. It's a good way to bring out of it. And, keep it rolling. Put another year down, 2022. I hope everyone had a great 2021. I guess we are into 2022 now, so everyone's getting their first impressions. And you know what they always say, first impressions matter. But, it is what it is. I hope you all are doing well at home. I hope you stay doing well. And thanks for listening. I'm going to call it a night. My throat is super fucking itchy. I've been reading Harry Potter, so I think I'm gonna read some of that. I just bought the full set, and I'm almost done with the first one, so let's do it. All right, guys. That's going to be it. Thanks for listening. Purple Podcast, episode number 11. Peace.